enjoying all this rare and unique content, please show your support by subscribing and leaving comments.
Hello again, everybody. It's Todd Prescott, curator of the Sasquatch Archives. This is Mag Snag number 3. I hope you enjoyed Mag Snag number 2. As I said in that previous video, there hasn't been a lot of action in magazines with Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Abominable Snowman, Yeti material, which is unfortunate, but it's part and parcel with what's happening in and with magazine culture nowadays. So today we're going to look at what I consider one of the best put together magazines I've seen in a long time. I'm really loving it, and you can see it on the screen. It's History of Monsters and Mythical Beasts. This magazine, I believe this is the one that it's kind of a 4th edition, I think they call it. I haven't seen the other editions, to be honest, but I looked it up and it seems that this is a 4th printing or edition. I can't recall off the top of my head because it was a couple weeks ago that I saw that. So maybe look for the other editions because maybe it has the same material or similar material. This just might be an update, I'm not sure. You can see that they are saying to... oh, actually this doesn't have a date on it. Oh, interesting. Usually they have a date display until, but I'm only seeing issue 02 printed in the UK, US $19.99, Canada $24.99. Maybe if I open up the magazine we can see if it has any reference to a display until date. But looking at the cover, that's a pretty cool cover, you have to say. And you see it says nightmares, cryptids, and creatures of legend, and that's what caught my eye. So why don't we open it up and we'll take a look at the table of contents. The thing that was a little disappointing about this magazine, to be honest, the only one thing I guess, I'm looking at the contents here as you are also, and there isn't coverage of Sasquatch Bigfoot. Let that sink in. There is some mention, which I'll get to in a moment. However, they opted, for whatever reason, to just cover Yeti. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's look at the contents, the table of contents. Starting on the left side, monsters around the world. There's an introduction, which is fairly well done, and then it gets into dragons, sea monsters, giants, werewolves, the undead, vampires, hybrids, unicorns, mermaids. Then we've got ancient Greek monsters of monsters and mortals, the chaotic yet cunning centaurs, the savage yet skilled cyclops, never look Gorgon in the eye, Pegasus, steed of heroes, every sinner feared the harpies, the hidden terror of the minotaur. Then Middle Eastern and African monsters. I'm not sure I'm going to be saying some of these correctly, so I'll let you look at those. And beside that are the Asian monsters. And if we jump down to page 100, you can see Tales of the Yeti. There it is. And finally, the last chapter, Modern Monsters. The Making of Modern Monsters, Spring Hill Jack, Unlucky Mummy, the Loch Ness Monster, the Goat Sucker, El Chupacabra, the Legend of Mothman. And interestingly, the last one, Creepypasta Stories, Slender Man. Why don't I jump right now to page 100 and we'll take a look at the article about the Yeti. I'm only going to show you the photo that accompanied this article. Again, as I've been saying all along, I want to respect the circulation schedule of the magazines that I feature so that they can sell. If I show everything here, people won't buy it, and that's not something that I want. I want these magazines to stay in business, and I want them to do well. So that's why I'm not going to show much more than some artwork and a few quotes perhaps. back to Tales of the Yeti. On the left-hand side, it shows the photo of, presumably is a Sherpa. I'd have to read the caption here, but stories of the Yeti have been passed down through generations. And below that it says, tales of the Yeti were told to discourage people, especially children, from approaching wild animals instead of staying within the safety of their community. Then on the next page is where the article begins, and it's lacking artwork. It shows a mountain landscape photo, I guess. Not very interesting. That was a bit of a letdown. But the article is only one page, which was a bummer. And as far as Bigfoot goes, as I said earlier, there's only slight mention of Bigfoot, and that's over on page 113. And I'll show you that quote, but first I'll start with the chapter heading, which is The Making of Modern Monsters. Monsters are not horrible creatures that belong to the past. The modern world is just as full of mysteries and menace. And the quote, it's just a little tiny quote, and it says, Sasquatch, or Bigfoot, has long been thought to stalk through the forests of North America. I believe that's it for mention of Bigfoot and Sasquatch. That's it. But thankfully, there's something about the Yeti, which, in my opinion, is related somehow to Sasquatch and Bigfoot. And I think most people would agree with that. However, having said that, there is some amazing artwork in this issue. And I'm going to go back close to the beginning. Not that I'm a dragon guy, but I love the artwork that they show for the dragons, as you can see as well. Beautiful artwork, just beautiful. And throughout the magazine, I'm just flipping through here to see if there's anything else that's really cool. A lot of it's cool, but let's focus on more of the theme that this channel is dedicated to. But as I say that, I'm going to go to a page on the goat sucker, El Chupacabra, and I had to laugh at this one because it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Predator, the artwork that they're showing there on the left. On the right side, you can't see it, but it's a hand-drawn, looks kind of like a coyote. The Mothman, the legend of Mothman, whatever that is, true or false, the artwork usually for Mothman is quite astounding, and this is no exception. I think it's fantastic, the artwork for this, so have a look at that. And there's more artwork that's great. I don't want to give too much away. Here's the Slender Man, which, of course, if you know about that, it's not a real thing. It was kind of an experiment to see if it would take off, and it did take off. But here's the back cover of the magazine. It was a bit of a lunch bag letdown that Bigfoot Sasquatch didn't really get too much attention, very little as a matter of fact. But as I said earlier, at the very least, Yeti was featured. 2 pages, 1 page write-up, and some artwork, or rather a photo accompanying that. But this is a magazine that I would highly recommend you purchase if you're into mythical beasts and monsters. It is very well done as far as the art goes. The articles are decent. I'm not going to say anything bad about that, but please go out and support your magazines in the bookstores and wherever you buy them. Let me know if you find anything, and there's the website, or sorry, there's my email that you can see there. You can let me know if you find anything, and I welcome you to send me high-risk scans in case I can't find it in my area, because I don't always get these magazines in Toronto, where I am. Anyways, stay safe out there, take care, and look for the next Mag Snag, and please look for the next video. I appreciate all the support. Take care. Bye.
If you're enjoying all this rare and unique content, please show your support by subscribing and leaving comments.